Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. I have another Transformers Titans Return review for you today. This is Leader Class Sky Shadow. Just found this at my local Target the other day. I was very excited to find it. I wasn't sure at first if I was going to pick him up or not, but this is basically the pre-tool of Overlord. And I know I'm definitely going to get Overlord because the pictures I've seen so far look fantastic, but I got excited because it was a new mold I don't have, and that's what they're counting on. So I caved and I picked it up. It looks really nice. I like the color scheme and everything. Of course, we'll get into all that in a minute. You can see the little picture down here in the front. Not really much going on the side, or that side really. But you can see here, he has a robot mode, which then transforms into two vehicle modes, a jet and a tank. And then he also has a base mode. So I'm going to try to zoom in here on the packaging, and actually I guess I could try to bring it a little bit closer, but there we go. Let's get that a little bit closer. So it says, Sky Shadow is a thief who sells his skills to the highest bidder. Ominous is the ultimate hacker. That's the Titan Master's Ominous. He can access the security systems of a battle station, space bridge, and even other bots. Together, the universe is theirs to raid. So, okay. But yeah, I really like the look of this. Like I said, I think the color scheme is really nice. These colors always look nice together. On the side here, you can see the other kind of Wave 4, one representative of each size class. So you have Shuffler, which I've already reviewed for the Titan Master class. Top Spin, which I'm very excited to eventually find for the Deluxes. Broadside, which I do have, but I haven't gotten to review yet for the Voyagers. And Six Shot, which is technically Wave 3, but I'm pretty sure Sky Shadow is the only leader class for Wave 4, so they put Six Shot on here from Wave 3. I also have Six Shot, but I have not gotten a chance to review him yet. I did already do Quick Switch in the Velocitron set, so they're the same mold, basically, but we'll get into that more in the Six Shot review. So, in any case, that's pretty much it for the packaging here. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here's Sky Shadow out of the packaging. Real quick, we'll take a look at the little card that he comes with. And I'll get a little bit closer here. It's a pretty nice little card. The artwork on the front is very much exactly the artwork from the front of the box. Not really anything too interesting going on there, but it has his name, Titans Return, as usual. And then taking a look at the tech specs, you can see he's kind of neck and neck in speed and brain power, and then Ominous gives him a super edge and brain power. Gives him a little bit of muscle. So there you go. Tech specs. Pretty nice, standard, solid cardboard card like we're used to. So very nice to collect. Put that off to the side. Bringing him into the forefront here. I really, really like this color scheme. I always think black and red go well together, and then you get some kind of silver and light gray and dark gray highlights. And I think it works pretty nice. I like the Decepticon stickers here. They come pre-applied, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Getting in a little bit closer so we can get a better look at the head and the chest here. Again, Decepticon symbols look nice. Have a faint little bit of yellow paint there, and also in the eyes, as you can see. And then you have mostly red and black with a little bit of silver, and then light gray here on the shins. And then mostly black and red on the bottom. On the back you have some gold, a little bit of jet kibble, not too bad though. You just kind of have the fuselage hanging on the back and then the wings. If you'd like to put the wings out to the side, if you like that look better, you can. That's how he comes packaged. But I like the wings straight back. I think that looks better. You can see a little bit of tank kibble here on the back of the legs and some tread here, but I think it looks good. Nothing really looks out of place or anything. Has these two accessories. Oops, and I'm dropping them all over the place. This is his gun, which again, very nicely painted. I would assume it's probably all black plastic, and then the red and the silver is painted on. But it looks nice. Really did a nice job with it, I have to say. Good looking weapon there. So he can hold that, of course, in either hand. Plugs in very easily. He's even got these holes on the side, so if you really wanted to, you could pop it in there. Little Megatron-esque side cannon there. But I kind of like it better in his hand. His other accessory is this kind of tiny jet type of accessory. It almost looks like, it reminds me kind of Star Saber's blade, like with this being the kind of, the hilt. And it looks like a blade could come out of here, but unfortunately we don't get anything like that included. This piece here can bend 90 degrees. I guess it can go technically a little bit more. No, it does stop. Okay, good. 90 degrees right there. So if you want to go ahead and pop this on the side, I think that kind of looks better. Except that it sticks out so far. I wish it was a little bit closer to the forearm, but not that big a deal. Or if you want, he can hold it. Although I think it looks a little weird, him just holding it like that. But it can be done. So putting the accessories off to the side, pops right out. We'll take a look at the Titan Master. You just lift the head up, very simply like that. Very similar to Six Shot or Quick Switch rather. Quick Strike is from Beast Wars. Popping the head out's a little difficult, but you can get it. Putting that off to the side and taking a nice close look here at the Titan Master. I think they did a great job with the face. Really nice silver paint there. I like that a lot. I wish the eyes were a little bit bigger. But otherwise, I like the yellow paint for the eyes. I think that looks good. And then transforming him. Very simple. Very basic, though. You get a little bit of black, a little bit of gunmetal gray. No paint on the face, which is kind of a bummer. Sometimes with the leader class figures, you get a little bit of paint on the face just because at the higher price point, they have a little bit more love they can put into the figures. But alas, no paint there on the head of the Titan Master, but really nice paint job on the back, the actual face for the actual head. But I'm going to go ahead and leave him. Actually, real quick, I'll show you. He can sit real quick in here. So you can ride around in this little jet. Any Titan Master can. I just wanted to show you how he fits in there real nice and easy. Gonna put all that off to the side real quick and we'll do articulation before we move into the transformations. I'm going to put the head back down. As far as the head goes, it can swivel from side to side. The shoulder has, of course, a rotate here. And then there's like a joint here you can see underneath. How that opens up like that. And I'll get a little bit closer. There is a bicep swivel there like that. 90 degrees in the elbow. The fist folds into the forearm for the transformation, so there's no wrist articulation there. And I don't think there's any waist articulation, and you'll see why because of the transformation as well. In the hip, though, you have really nice tight joint. It's not really a ratchet. It's kind of like a... Well, I guess it's a ratchet this way, but out to the side, it's just nice and tight. Then there's a thigh swivel. I guess there's an extra joint here, as you can see, but that's because of the transformation as well. And then you have the knee joint, which is right below that. So you can see this is the knee joint, and then that's a second joint there for the transformation. So, nice amount of joints there. Coming down to the foot or ankle, this just again is because of the transformation, and this swivels out like that. So, not really any kind of ankle movement that makes sense as far as the robot mode. But I think it's a nice amount of articulation for a figure this size. I can't think of anything else I would ask for. I don't really miss wrist articulation. That's about the only thing. These guns can move. You can point them straight up if you want. You can point them out to the side. Not really too much going on there. I like the shoulder articulation. I think that works. So yeah, I really like this robot mode. It's fairly straightforward, I guess I'll say. But I like it a lot. And I really like the color scheme, which I think makes it. I think Sky Shadow works so well because of the red, gold, and black overall color scheme. Then you have some shades of gray as well. So let's go ahead and we'll move into the transformation. Alright, so I'll move into the transformation here, and I apologize ahead of time if I can't keep him in frame the whole time. He's very tall. You can start by folding the fists 90 degrees into the forearm, and you can see that they pretty much sit flush. You can straighten these out, and then right here, these will collapse into the top part of the shoulder. And I don't know why, but for some reason I have a lot more trouble with this one than this one. This one seems to pop right in. But you can see how they kind of sit flush now, like that. You can take the head and spin it 180 degrees. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead. You're actually going to separate, come here at the waist, and that's just going to slide out. So you can see how this piece works, and that just slides into this hole here. And it's tight enough like that the friction keeps it in place so that when it's in robot mode, you can feel it click in and it doesn't like fall out. But when you go to pull it apart, it's very simple. So it's nice. I really appreciate that. I'm glad it's not some kind of weird like locking mechanism that would, you know, make it too difficult to transform. So I appreciate that. I'm going to set this part off to the side for a second. You're going to take the fuselage piece and it's just going to kind of accordion out like this and go over top of the head piece there. And then you can take this piece from the chest and just flip that over like that. When you come here, you're going to see right here, there's a little tab and a little pin, and that's going to plug into here and here on the wing. So you just kind of line that up, and that'll pop right on there on both sides. And then you can straighten these and kind of just push that up. You kind of have it pushed down like that in robot mode. Pop it up. So that's pretty much it for jet mode. Very simplistic, but I like the look of it. You can also bring this accessory piece back in, and you can see how there's kind of a clip right here, and there's a clip underneath there. So you can just go ahead, line that up if I can find it. There you go, and that snaps on there. So pretty cool. Now you can also open up the cockpit here. Just kind of get your finger in, and then that'll flip up, and there's plenty of room inside there. You can take the Titan Master, drop him inside. He fits very comfortably. Close it back up. So very cool. I'm going to take him back out because the other half also has a cockpit that I want to demonstrate. So take that out. So yeah, that's the jet half. Put that off to the side. Bring your legs back in. You're going to pop these treads back up, and then this will kind of de-accordion itself as well and come down like that. Now you saw that these move, and I guess I should have showed that off earlier. I guess that's kind of an ankle joint, so like if you want him to do a pose and then have him stand like that, you can do that. So I apologize that I forgot to show that earlier for the robot's articulation. So there you go, you can see the treads like that. At this point, you're going to spread these open because the whole inside you can push down with your thumb here, and that's going to rotate around like that. And you're going to do that on both sides, and that's going to kind of get you the turret part of your tank. At this point, you can see this knee joint. These are going to flip around like this. And then you kind of have to clip everything together. You're going to see there's little slot right there, and let me get a little bit closer. You can see the slot right there, and see how there's a tab here. There's one on each side. So you kind of bring this down, and then it snaps in. Bring this down, and that's going to snap in here in the front, and then these two will snap into each other. There we go. So that all snaps together pretty well, and then you can see this peg hole right here. You're just going to drop the gun right on top there. And there's your tank turret. And I have to say, this works really well in my opinion. Now, unfortunately, the turret does not turn. So that's a limitation of how it transforms. But I like the look of this a lot. I really do. It's very simplistic, but it works. And again, I love the Decepticon stickers here. Mine's a little cockeyed on that one, but what are you going to do? This opens up. You can go ahead and fit your Titan Master right inside. Fits very comfortably. So I like that a lot. I really do. And like I said, it's very easy to see. Oh, you can push these forward for the gun mode. It's very easy to see how this is going to be Overlord, because Overlord was a tank and a jet that transformed together to become Power Master Overlord. And obviously they're doing it as a Titan Master instead of a Power Master. But I think it works. I like it a lot. I'm definitely going to rebuy it as Overlord, but I think in the meantime, this is, nice to tide me over. You can also see this clip here underneath. You can plug that into this clip here on the top, right where my finger is. And that will clip on there like that. Which, when it's just moving around like this, looks kind of ridiculous. But if you want to imagine he's like flying and then he can deploy it. This was something they used to do in Master Force for Overlord. He would, you know, link on like this, and then the jet would kind of fly in and drop the tank and then fly off, and then the tank would start, you know, doing stuff. So I think that's really cool. I really like all the features of both of the vehicles here. I think the proportions work well. I think I might like the tank a little bit better. Just, you know, I really like its proportions and I like the way it looks. Sure, I'd love it if the turret moved, but I can live without that. I don't think it's a big deal. The jet works, but I feel like you can definitely see the torso of the robot when you look underneath. I mean, yes, they folded the hands up and everything, but you can still tell that's arms and a chest. And I mean, if you forget to do this, you can even see the head. So, while I think the jet works, I definitely think the tank is just a little bit cooler in my opinion. But there is another mode. There is kind of a base fortress mode, whatever you'd like to call it. So I'm going to transform it back into robot mode because that's where the directions have you start, and it kind of makes sense to start from there. So I've transformed it most of the way back into robot mode. You can leave the hands kind of transformed, you know, shrunken down into themselves, and you can leave the head backwards 180 degrees. You're going to come down to the bottom here, and you can put the treads back up. You're going to accordion this back down, but before you do that, kind of accordion it out, and then you can see right here, you're going to flip out this little piece, and then you're going to push it back down like you're transforming it into tank mode. Basically what this little piece here is to connect it to other base modes. They all have that kind of little piece that kind of dovetails together. So that's what that little connection is. You can come and do the exact same thing on this side, flip out this piece, and then leave that like that. You're going to put the arms straight out, and put the gun back out of the way. So put the arms straight out like that. You're going to rotate the legs at the thigh swivel 180 degrees. So do that on both sides, and then you can turn the entire thing over. You're going to put the legs out to the side and then down like that. You're going to rotate this piece back out like you're transforming it into tank mode. Bring the wings straight down. Take the fuselage piece, and that's actually going to rotate up and then actually rotate down and then sit back. And then they want you to take this piece and clip this back on to give it a little bit of height. Now the only thing that's really left to do is this piece here actually unclips and kind of accordions out again. It's a little difficult to do the first couple times. I'm not really sure why. I'm sure it's connected somehow. So you can see how the piece is, and then you just rotate it forward. That's about as far as it'll go. So you do the same thing over here. That one was much easier to do. So then just kind of get this all level. And then you can see there's a peg hole right there. You're going to drop the gun right on top of that. And then this is pretty much your base mode. Now I agree, this is a little to be desired. I don't really think it's all that impressive. You know, I appreciate the fact that it has the connectors to connect to other bases, but it really just kind of looks like the robot mode is taking a nap on its back, or on its stomach rather. So yeah, I don't know. What I was just messing around with it to kind of see if I could make like a little bit fan mode or something a little bit better. I kind of like putting the hands like this so that they kind of look more like, you know, city spires or something. But then the only problem is the guns here on the back kind of get in the way. So it kind of props them up. which is not really that great. And there's really nothing you can do about that. So you kind of just have to leave them out to the side. And you have to make sure with the shoulder joint, and I apologize, let me reposition the camera here. If you have it out like that, you have to make sure you push it all the way down. And then, like, you need to make sure you use this joint here instead of this joint, because you can see that there's an extra joint inside. Like, there's this joint and then there's this joint. So you have to make sure that's all the way in. And it can be a bit of a pain, but once you get the hang of it. So, yeah, I don't know. The base mode is... It's not the worst, but it's certainly not fantastic. I don't know. I don't really know what else you'd do, though, to be honest. I'm trying to think of how to make it better, and like I said, you could try to reposition the arms, but because of these guns here, you can't really do that. I mean, it might have been nice if the hinge on the wings would let it come down. Like, the wings can only do 90 degrees from here to here. If they had the capacity to go a little bit more towards the ground so that it looked like they were ramps on the side, that might have been a little bit of a help. I mean, otherwise, I don't really know what else to do. Like I said, I feel like if you could reposition the arms a little bit, that might have been cooler. I don't really know what else to do, but it is what it is. I remember the original Overlord. I think these pieces came off, and they each did like a platform on the side. So there were ramps that went down, and then these platforms were on the side. So you had your main platform in the middle, and then you had your two ramps that went down to two side platforms. I don't know how they would have done that, because you would have to take these two legs apart. But that might have been cool if they could have done something like that, where if you could take this piece off the front and then have these be able to bend down a little bit more, and then have one leg on each side as like a side ramp, because then maybe they could connect to these. Maybe they could have done something like that, where you could take these pieces off and connect them to the arms, and then the wings would have acted as ramps to the side panels, and then you'd have the gun in the front. Something like that might have been cool. It would have been closer to the original toy. And I think just looked a little better. This almost feels like it's trying to be like Fortress Maximus. That's kind of the opinion that I get from this, but I don't know. Like I said, it's not the worst, but I don't know. It doesn't impress me a whole ton. But it's okay. It is what it is. So I actually like Sky Shadow quite a bit. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick him up originally. I was kind of on the fence, because I knew I definitely wanted the Overlord that he's eventually going to be, you know, repainted, retooled into. But I like this one quite a bit. I really like both the vehicle modes that he turns into. I think the jet is alright. I think the tank is probably the better of the two, but the jet is still perfectly good. I really love the color scheme. I think that's one of the shining things about this toy. These colors always look really good together. The robot mode looks good. Nice points of articulation. Titan Master looks good. Not a heck of a lot of paint, or any paint really, for the robot mode of the Titan Master, but that's kind of par for the course for this line, so I've kind of come to expect that. But I really do like the face of the head, you know what I mean, what the face that he turns into. I think they did a nice job painting. I'd probably make the eyes a little bigger, just because it'd be a little bit easier to see, and I kind of noticed that with Quick Switch as well, especially when you put the visor down. When you put him into the helmet and the visor, not the visor, the top part of the helmet goes down, it almost kind of covers the eyes a little bit. So I'd maybe make the eyes a little bigger. But these are nitpicky things. They're really not anything major to complain about this guy. I like it a lot. I think it's fun. It's definitely a more simple transformation than I expected, but I don't mind that. Sometimes a simple transformation can be nice because it's fun to transform him back and forth quickly. And I don't always mind a simple transformation. The base mode leaves a little to be desired, I have to admit. It really just kind of looks like the robot mode took a nap on his stomach. But, you know, it is what it is. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's just not fantastic. And I've kind of already given my thoughts about how maybe to improve that. Again, I don't know how that would have happened with the engineering of the toy, but you never know. So, in summation, I would say definitely get one version of this mold. If you're definitely going to hold out and get the Overlord, by all means. If you like both characters, you like both color schemes, and you want both, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think this guy's definitely a lot of fun to be had. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Leader Class Sky Shadow from Transformers Titans Return. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.